in the heart of a busy capital city, surrounded by real embassies, real flags, and real diplomats, a new building quietly raised its colors. It had a flag. It had guards. It had a coat of arms. It had a polished brass plate by the door that read, Embassy of the Republic of Viridia. There was just one problem. Viridia didn't exist. This was not a real embassy, not a real country, not a real diplomatic mission. It was a front, a trap, a stage carefully built, not to issue visas or protect citizens, but to recruit foreign agents. This is the story of a fake embassy, how it was created, how it fooled people, and how it turned ordinary visitors into spies for a nation they never thought they'd work for. White Medium Star Chapter 1. The Idea. Spycraft in a New Era. Intelligence agencies have always recruited people in strange places. Bars, hotels, university conferences, border crossings, even dating sites. But in a world of cameras, biometrics, and digital trails, covert meetings were becoming harder and harder to hide. One intelligence service, never officially named, came up with a new idea. If everyone trusts embassies, why don't we build our own? The plan was bold. Create a fake embassy for a fictional country, insert it into the real diplomatic district of a foreign capital, and use it as a magnet for desperate people, criminals, smugglers, corrupt officials, and anyone else willing to trade secrets in exchange for help. It would look real, sound real, feel real, but behind the flag and the smiles, it would be nothing more than an intelligence trap. To build a fake embassy, you first need a fake country. They called it the Republic of Viridia, a small, newly independent island nation no one had ever heard of. Documents were forged. A convincing national history was written. Maps were created showing a small island somewhere, between recognized territorial disputes. A basic website went online. Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Viridia. The site listed President, a foreign minister, a small navy, trade agreements, a flag, an anthem, and even a national tourism slogan. None of them were real. Every photo was staged. Every biography was fabricated. Every government announcement was written by intelligence officers, sitting in a nondescript office. On paper, Viridia was as real as any other small state. Most people had never heard of, and for many that was enough. White Medium Star Chapter 3. A Building Among Many Flags. Next came the building, in a busy diplomatic district, where embassies from all over the world stood side by side. An old townhouse was rented through a chain of shell companies. Renovation crews arrived. The walls were repainted in soft beige. A new security gate was installed. Cameras appeared at the corners. A flagpole was mounted outside. On opening day, a red, green, and gold flag went up, the brand new flag of Viridia. Neighbors looked, shrugged, and went back to their day. Embassies appeared all the time. New countries, new consulates, new offices. Inside, the transformation was even more careful. The lobby had flags, maps, and framed photos of Viridian landscapes. A portrait of the president hung on the wall. Staff wore tailored suits and discreet lapel pins with the Viridian emblem. Business cards, stamps, letterheads. Everything said, Embassy of the Republic of Viridia. And yet, it was nothing but a stage. Behind one locked door, down a quiet corridor, was the only real thing in the building, an intelligence operations room. A real embassy gets many visitors, people asking for visas, politicians seeking meetings, businessmen looking for deals, and smugglers hunting for opportunity. The fake embassy wanted a specific kind of visitor, people who needed money, people who needed a new identity, people who could not go to normal embassies, people who had access to secrets. To attract them, the fake embassy used subtle tactics. On shady message boards and hidden forums, rumors spread. Viridia is giving out passports for cash. They don't ask too many questions. They can help if you're in trouble. They can make problems disappear. These rumors didn't come from the street. They were planted. Within weeks, the embassy started seeing an unusual kind of visitor. Smugglers, corrupt officials, black market brokers, and minor government workers from various nearby states. They walked in, thinking they were manipulating a small, desperate island nation. They had no idea. The embassy's real purpose was to recruit them. White Medium Star Chapter 5. The First Catch. The first real catch was a customs officer from a neighboring country. He came in asking for a passport, paid in cash, whispered that he was willing to help Viridia if they could protect him. He thought he was exploiting a weak, corrupt microstate. He thought he was in control. Instead, he had just walked into a controlled intelligence environment. He was invited to a private office, offered coffee, politeness, and respect. A Viridian diplomat listened to him carefully. Behind the wall, hidden cameras recorded everything. The diplomat didn't ask him for bribes. He asked questions. What do you do? What systems do you access? Do you ever see shipping records? Do you see military shipments too? Do you ever hear about secret cargo? The officer spoke freely, thinking this was just background information for his future citizenship. Days later, he was approached again. This time, the tone changed. Instead of a passport, he was offered a deal. We can help you, but you can help us first. Within weeks, he was passing port data, cargo lists, and details about weapons shipments to what he believed was the small republic of Viridia. In reality, he had become a foreign agent, working not for a tiny island, but for one of the world's major intelligence services. White Medium Star Chapter 6. The Art of Slow Recruitment. The fake embassy didn't rush. Every visitor was profiled. Their job, their income, their weaknesses, their fears, their ambitions. Most were sent away politely. Not useful, too unstable, too risky. But a select few were invited back. They were offered business visas, investment opportunities, fast-track residency, new passports, and in return, they were asked for small favors. Can you share non-critical office schedules? Can you tell us about new regulations? Can you get us phone directories? Can you tell us who is being promoted? Nothing illegal at first, just enough to cross a line internally, a psychological hook. Once that line was crossed, the embassy would escalate. More questions, more demands, more money. Slowly, the visitor became a source, then a contact, then an agent. By the time they realized what they had become, it was already too late. The embassy had everything: recordings, documents, logs of meetings, financial transfers. They were trapped, not by chains, but by their own actions. Behind the public reception areas, the fake embassy had a hidden nerve center, a secure room filled with encrypted computers, live camera feeds from every office, audio recording systems, secure lines back to headquarters. Every visitor was recorded, every conversation analyzed, every document scanned. The staff weren't real diplomats. They were intelligence officers, psychologists, linguists, political analysts, and handlers trained in recruitment. They studied patterns. Who is nervous? Who lies easily? Who is desperate for money? Who hates their employer? Who asks about passports too quickly? Each profile helped refine the bait. Each new agent opened doors to new networks, new secrets, new opportunities. Over time, the embassy became a machine, processing people, filtering them, and quietly turning the right ones into informants. White Medium Star Chapter 8. The Dangerous Game. Fake as it was, the embassy played a very real and dangerous game. Other intelligence services began to notice strange things. A new, unknown embassy. Visitors at odd hours. People who should not be seen there. Surveillance teams snapped photos. Question marks appeared in security briefings. Who is Viridia? Why are criminals visiting this tiny embassy? Why are government employees going there secretly? Some suspected money laundering. Others suspected human trafficking. A few, quietly, began to suspect something more, a sophisticated spy operation. One nearby counterintelligence agency put the embassy under discreet watch. They followed visitors home. They cross-referenced their jobs. The pattern slowly emerged. Customs officers, procurement officials, IT workers, minor diplomats, all walking into the same building, with the same fake flag outside. The embassy had become too successful. And with success came attention. White Medium Star Chapter 9. The First Mistake. No operation is perfect. One day, a mid-level government worker came in, panicked, sweating, desperate. He wanted a visa. Fast. He hinted at big secrets. He wanted too much, too quickly. He was unstable, but he had something tempting: access to classified defense contracts. The fake embassy decided to proceed. They invited him back. They began the usual process. What they didn't know was that this man was already under quiet surveillance by his own government. When he met with the Viridian diplomat, someone else was also watching. Photos were taken, license plates recorded, patterns studied, and slowly, the watching agency realized this wasn't a normal embassy at all. White Medium Star Chapter 10. The Net Tightens. Months passed. The fake embassy kept operating, recruiting, collecting, expanding. But outside, other eyes were closing in. Counterintelligence officials filed reports. Unusual embassy activity. Non-standard visitors. Soft, unofficial recruitment behavior. The host country faced a dilemma. If Viridia was real, its embassy had diplomatic immunity. If it wasn't, something truly explosive was happening on their soil. Quietly, they began digging. The Republic of Viridia had no embassy in other capitals. No recognized membership in international organizations. No official registration in global state databases. The website was shallow. The documents didn't check out. The president had never appeared anywhere else. The host country came to a chilling conclusion. This embassy was a front. But for whom? White Medium Star Chapter 11. The Shutdown. Diplomacy has its own theater. Instead of a dramatic raid, instead of flashing lights and shattered doors, the host country chose a quieter path. A discreet diplomatic note was sent to the unnamed intelligence power suspected behind Viridia. The message was clear. We know. Shut it down, or we will expose everything. Weeks later, the Viridian flag came down. The sign was removed. The staff vanished. The building was emptied overnight. No public explanation. No scandal. No arrest. Just silence. Neighbors woke up to see an empty townhouse, where yesterday an embassy had stood. The Republic of Viridia's website quietly went offline. Its government stopped making announcements. Its history vanished into digital dust. On paper, it had never truly existed. But the agents it recruited, the secrets it stole, the networks it built, those remained. White Medium Star Chapter 12. The Lesson of the Fake Embassy. Today, somewhere in hidden training manuals, the Viridia embassy case is studied as a masterpiece of modern espionage. It proved that trust in symbols can be weaponized. Official-looking buildings can hide unofficial intentions. People will share their deepest secrets if you convince them you're a state that can protect them. Most of all, it showed that in the world of intelligence, not every flag flies for a country. Sometimes it flies for a lie. The fake embassy is gone now. The Republic of Viridia is gone with it. But the idea remains that somewhere in some city, a building with a flag might not be what it seems, and behind its doors, someone might be waiting, not to stamp passports, but to recruit agents.